If I'm looking down, it's because I wrote some notes on my phone. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. Today's video is all about community college and my experience with it. I hope you enjoy and let's just get into it. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is why I went to a community college opposed to going to a 4-year. If you weren't aware, I went to a community college last year for my freshman year, and now this year I'm transferring into a 4-year university. So the reason I went to a community college is ultimately because I didn't have time to apply to the other 4-year universities around me. So basically what happened is my family and I were planning to move to South Carolina, and then at the last minute we decided to move to North Carolina instead. We sold the house that we had bought in South Carolina, and by the time we did move to North Carolina, it was too late for me to apply to the 4-year universities. So community college is a lot easier to get into and the deadline was a lot later. So instead of just taking a year off, I applied to a community college so I could get my basic classes out of the way, and I enrolled in their transfer program. So the transfer program that I enrolled in allows you to take 2 years worth of classes at the community college and then transfer your credits to any other college inside of North Carolina. You can transfer out of state, but the program is meant for in-state because they already checked with most of the major colleges around the state to make sure that all the classes I was taking would transfer in. So I enrolled in that transfer program, but as you know now, I left it 1 year early and went to a 4-year university. One of the biggest pros of community college is that it's a lot cheaper. So I was still considered an out-of-state student since I hadn't lived in the state for more than a year, and my tuition was still cheaper than my old high school's tuition, which is actually insane. Another thing that's great about community college is that it's usually easier than 4-year university classes. So at least for me, I found that community college classes were just a little bit harder than high school classes and their college credits, which is actually crazy. And another pro is that it's less risky. So after the 2 years, you end up getting your associate's degree. You have a certificate, you have the degree. So if you do transfer to a 4-year university and end up dropping out before you finish, you still have your associate's degree. But if you go to a 4-year university and drop out after 2 years, you won't have a degree or anything like that. So it's basically just a waste of time. One of the cons is that you don't get the full college experience. Most community colleges don't have dorms, so you're going to have to live at home or in an apartment and commute every day to get there. They usually don't have sports or only have a couple of different sports, and they don't really have parties or any events like that, so you don't really get the full college experience because everyone just goes there for the day and then goes home. And the other con that I could think of was that it might be harder later on. So if you take entry-level courses at a community college and then you go to take the second level of that course at a 4-year university, you might be a little bit behind because most of the people at 4-year universities took the entry-level course with the same school. So it might be a little different material and you might be a little bit off, but I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. The last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is why I left community college. So as you know from the intro, I left after 1 year instead of 2 years, and the reason I did that was because I never really planned to go to a community college. Like, I always wanted to go to a 4-year, so I just kind of fell into this situation and I decided instead of going through with the 2-year thing, I'm just going to leave 1 year early so I can get more of the college experience, so I'll have 3 years at a 4-year university instead of just 2 years. Even though it is going to cost more, I feel like the education at the school I'm going to is a lot better and is going to help prepare me for the real world and getting a job later on. So I think it's going to be worth it in the long run. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this down below. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.